Hello again. Again, my name is Peter, and I want to thank you for donating to Black Box International. For those of you out there that are girls, you might be wondering, why aren't we helping girls? Well, in our research, we found that there are about 700,000 girls a year that are being treated in this way around the world. And there are between 300 and 400,000 boys that are being treated this way, sold into slavery, forced into labor, made to do things that they don't want to do, being treated really poorly. But what we also found was that there are hundreds of ministries and organizations that are already helping girls. So the reason that we decided not to work with girls is because there already are so many really good organizations. In Joplin, there is a great organization called Rapha House, and they are working with girls in Cambodia. And they've asked us to come to Cambodia and do some work for them and begin to do some work for boys, with boys. But that's really too far away for us to do right now. So our work in the Dominican Republic is the very first time that we're going to be doing this. And you're going to help us with our very first house and our very first house parents and our very first boys. And again, I want to say thank you for your willingness to do that. But again, there aren't very many organizations. I think we found 2 organizations in the whole world that are working with boys right now. And we actually got to work with an organization that is starting to work with boys in Nicaragua. It's a church from South Carolina that saw this need in Nicaragua. In fact, in Nicaragua, there are already some ministries established. So we wanted to go somewhere where there's nothing going on. We picked the Dominican Republic because there are so many people that come into the Dominican Republic. It's a fairly rich country. There's a lot of tourists that come in, and so there's a lot of people that are coming and going, and there are lots of boys that are being treated poorly and abused that are in that country, that are even brought in from other parts of Central America. And so it seemed to be the country that had the greatest need for us. If you're thinking about what do these boys do and what's their lifestyle like normally, these boys are pretty typical kind of boys. They like to do the kinds of things that you like to do. Their food is going to be lots of fruits and vegetables because they're on a tropical island. Probably won't have as much meat as you have. Most of the time, these boys, because of their lifestyle, they're not going to eat at a fast food place. They're not going to be on the internet. They're not going to have phones. They're not going to be able to go to movies. They're going to really be isolated somewhere, and they'll probably only have 1 or 2 changes of clothes. But they're going to have the same kind of interests. They're going to want to run and play and do athletic things. Most of them can't read because they've not been in school. So teaching them how to read is going to be something that's going to be very, very important for us. So that they can read the Bible, and they would be able to be literate and be able to think for themselves and be able to make good decisions. We may or may not be able to find their families. We've thought that maybe if we could find their families, they would be able to go back. But some of these boys are from other countries, and we're not really sure how we can handle that and how we'll be able to deal with that. So for the time being, we're thinking that when a boy is rescued and comes and lives with us, he's going to stay with us unless somebody comes to us to say, hey, this boy belongs in this village or with this family. So these boys that you're going to be helping to provide this house for, this very first house in the Dominican Republic, this will probably be their home until they graduate from what would be like our high school, and they might even stay there when they go on for college. As an organization, we want to pay for their college. So we're looking at helping these boys maybe as early, as young as 6, stay with us all the way up until maybe age 24. So this is a big commitment that we're making. And as a result of that, we're trying to think through all of the things that we need to do to make this the very best experience that we can for them. So today, when you think about the kinds of boys that you're going to help, I want you to think of a boy like you who has the same interests that you have. And girls, I want you to think like some of the boys that you know, a brother or a friend at school, somebody who's interested in something. And I want you to think about a person who has those kinds of interests. And I want you to know that when you donate your money today, you're helping a boy who is a lot like the way that you are be able to have hope be able to have a home, be able to have a future, be able to know God, and be able to have a life that is going to be much, much better than what he has. So again, on behalf of Black Box International, thank you for supporting these boys.